Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is D-Man coming back at it again with another YouTube video, and today we're going to go ahead and go over another day of Tennessee Titans training camps. Let's go ahead and let's start off with this. I believe this was a story a couple days ago, maybe yesterday, but it was about Janoris Jenkins being that veteran leader for Caleb Farley. It's what you'd like to see. It's what you'd like to see, especially with our first round pick. There's a lot of pressure on him, so hopefully this is a little bit of relief for him, kind of relieving the pressure off of him, knowing that he's got some guys around him that is going to help him out and stuff like that. So very, very good stuff here. So let's continue on. I do have a couple notes from today, and we'll get into that after we finish up, like always. So let's keep on going here. Today, first day in pads, so that is a good thing. Again, we are being very, very cautious with, notable guys. Julio was not on the field today, and Josh Reynolds was not on the field today for the 100th day in a row now. So questions and concerns for Josh Reynolds for me. I don't know what's going on. There's nothing that I know about Josh Reynolds that I can tell you guys. So I don't know anything about Josh Reynolds. Julio, I'm imagining that he's going to be fine. Obviously, knock on wood, but we are taking him. We are going to treat him very, very, very almost like any little thing that happens to him, we are going to make sure he is going to be okay for the season. So we don't want any type of stupid injuries happening, and especially for Julio Jones is definitely a guy that we need healthy this year for us to make a run at the Super Bowl. So we don't want any injuries to happen now that nag throughout the season. So any type of little thing like yesterday with Julio, which I think was a little thing, which we're going to, I'm sure the trainers and staff are very cautious of Julio Jones, and we want to keep him at his best, as healthy as possible. So with that being said, A.J. Brown was back on the field today. Just Josh Reynolds, I got a big question about him. I just don't know where he's been, but hopefully he's okay, because he's going to have a big role. He's definitely going to have a big role this year. For sure, because there's going to be a lot of eyes on A.J. Brown and Julio Jones, and a lot of eyes, obviously, on Derrick Henry as well. So it's going to open it up for, Josh Reynolds, Anthony Firkser to have sneaky good years. So, yeah, everyone, warming up here. Got some kicker news. So we got some stats on Sam Ficken today, and also McCann as well, and I'll go ahead and get into that after we finish everything here. But there you guys have everyone warming up. Julio Jones not on the field this morning for Titans practice, so that was something I mentioned before, and have to wait and see how I don't mind him not even going to training camp. I understand like the chemistry stuff and stuff like that, but he can be there. But yesterday was the first time he got some reps, 7-on-7, 11-on-11, and the first day that he's repping 7-on-7 and 11-on-11, he gets hurt. So I don't mind him going out there doing individual work, but we want to keep him as healthy as possible. It does kind of scare me because I just hope he can stay healthy. It's going to be very interesting to see how healthy he can stay, but I really, really hope that he can stay healthy throughout the year. Now, obviously, he's not going to go out if it's a little ankle in the playoffs next season. That's just something that we don't need him to push himself. Like, if there's any sort of little thing, guys, you understand that it's Julio Jones and we don't need to push him, and we just need to, keep him as healthy as possible. A.J. Brown, I believe we'll have a clip of the receivers here in a minute, but there's A.J. Brown going through a little drill there. Yeah, here's the receivers. Again, still question marks here about who's going to take that last roster spot. Cam Batson looks really good footwork-wise here on the ladder, and we'll see him right now. Nice snag here, too. So this looks really, really nice. Mason Kimsey there. There's Racey McMath. And Des Fitzpatrick, I heard, had a nice physical play against Elijah Molden, I heard. So that's another good thing about the rookie. I don't think he is anywhere near ready yet, but just good to hear that he's more of a physical guy. Obviously like everyone else on the team with AJ Brown and Julio. So that's they're gonna mesh well. Obviously, who I think that out of those three that I mentioned prior to this video, on the other videos before, roster spots coming down to Cam Batson, who I think is going to end up eventually taking that last spot. But Cam Batson, Mason Kinsey, and Chester Rogers. It's going to be very interesting to see who can take that last spot there. But let's continue, and I just absolutely scroll up. Here's Derrick Henry getting a little work in. I don't know how you're going to look this man in the eyes and try and tackle him. That dude was like, how are you supposed to tackle that dude? I mean, imagine if you're a safety coming downhill trying to tackle that specimen. That's a big dude. Like, that's a massive dude coming at you, fast, and he's big. And I just don't understand what you're supposed to do. I mean, he looks big without pads on. He looked like he had pads on when he doesn't have pads on. With pads on, he looks like a freak. So there you have Derrick Henry there. I mean, crazy stuff there. Here's Caleb Farley, day 2 for him. First round pick. Obviously, he's not going to do much, contact-wise, but we're going to slowly work him into that, I would imagine. Maybe he'll be good to go. I don't know, because I thought originally that he was going to be, if he was good by the beginning of the year, like for the week 1, I would have said that would have been unbelievable. And we see him out here on August 3rd, day 2 for him. So that's really, as a Titans fan, that's something that really is exciting for me, because I have been really excited since we drafted Caleb Farley. I was a big fan. I did a draft video before the draft happened, and Caleb Farley was my guy. Him and Greg Newsome were my two favorite guy. Two of the guys that I would have loved to, for the Titans to pick, because I feel like we need to get better at cornerback, and that's exactly what we did. We got Caleb Farley, and man, with his injury concerns and stuff like that, with him being on the field August 3rd, I'm very excited to see. I'm interested to see how they're going to treat him during the preseason. But he just needs to be ready week 1. And before I saw him get out on the field August 2nd, my estimated time of return for Caleb Farley was going to be maybe week 3, week 4. He had to be ready by week 5 for sure. But that was around the time I thought he was going to be back and ready to go, good to go. And man, he's back on the field August 3rd. I cannot wait. He should be ready week 1 if everything holds up and he stays healthy. So, man, I'm super excited to see him on the field, getting in the work. And then we got some last couple of videos here, some from the press conference for Rashaan Evans on his outlook heading into 2021. In my opinion, he's really going to have to play really insanely good to return to the Titans, because he's going to be a free agent next year, and we got guys that are really good, young guys that are good at the same position as Rashaan Evans. We saw David Long step in last year and play absolutely phenomenal, way better than what we would have thought. And we still have Jayon Brown. We signed him back this year. So, in my opinion, moving forward, since we only signed Jayon to a 1-year deal, I really want to bring Jayon back and keep, David Long. So I would love to have like David Long, Jayon Brown, kind of that two-headed inside linebacker spot there. But right now it's Rashaan Evans and Jayon Brown. And Rashaan Evans has to play like an absolute stud this year for him to have a chance for us to, we're already going to be, we'll have some cap space, but it won't be a lot. And I'm sure we don't want to waste it on a guy like Rashaan Evans, who is going to who David Long is a very similar player, and is going to keep getting better. And we don't want to waste that money on someone. Pretty much, we have a guy already that we like a lot in David Long, and we probably want to put that money elsewhere to help out, other spots on the team that might be a little, that we have holes in. So, in my opinion, Rashaan Evans, this year is going to be a big year for him. I think he's going to play very well. It's going to put the Titans in a very interesting situation on if we're going to bring him back or not. But I feel like he's going to have a very, very good year. That's just in my opinion, because he knows he needs to have a very good year. But keep going. This guy right here he's got to have a lot of pressure on him because the defense has to be good. Shane Bowen, a lot of question marks around him. A lot. But I'm confident in the defense. A lot of it last year wasn't necessarily play calling, but we had Malcolm Butler 10 yards off the receiver, which in my opinion that's pretty bad. But I guess you could say a good bit of it was play calling. But in my opinion, we have improved in a lot of positions on on defense. So in my opinion, the personnel is going to be a lot better defensively. We've got two great edge rushers with Harold Landry and Bud Dupree, and Denico Autry, who I'll go ahead and get into now, had a great day today. First day in pads for him. Absolutely blew up Nate Davis, was one report today. So blowing up Nate Davis is something that's pretty good. So Denico Autry, Big Jeff in the middle. Very excited to see how that two-headed monster plays. Again, along on the on the outside as well with Harold Landry and Bud Dupree. Jeffrey Simmons is going to get a lot more. A lot of the guys throughout the offensive line is going to get a lot of one-on-one opportunities this year, because Big Jeff was pretty much the only guy we had out there last year. Clowney was a non-factor. He got some QB pressures, but didn't get one sack last year. And if you follow me on Instagram, you saw that story of how he's doing in Cleveland. But in my opinion, Bud Dupree is definitely an upgrade over Jadeveon Clowney. And then Harold Landry, opposite of him, is going to get way more snaps, where he's going to get off the ball a lot quicker than he was last year, because he's playing 90% of the snaps. And by the third quarter, he's already absolutely gassed. So really need to get him. Really important for us to get Harold Landry to take some snaps off, so when he's in the game, he's going to be more explosive and can get to the quarterback, and we saw that a couple of years ago. So in my opinion, Harold Landry is a guy that can get to the quarterback, and he showed that he can get to the quarterback. It's just the fact that he had no help last year, and he was playing 90% of the snaps. So I'm very confident in Harold Landry going into next year with Bud Dupree opposite of him. Very excited. And like I said before, Denico Autry and Jeffrey Simmons in the middle is probably going to be drawing some double teams in there, and that's going to be giving Bud Dupree and Harold Landry a lot of one-on-one opportunities out there. And I'm very confident in Harold Landry in a one-on-one against a left or right tackle, and I'm very confident in Bud Dupree in a one-on-one against a tackle as well. So defensive line, I think, has gotten much better since last year. Linebackers, like I mentioned, David Long, Rashaan Evans, Jayon Brown, those guys can get it done. Then we get to the secondary, which the cornerback spot is a little interesting. We don't exactly know who the CB1, CB2, CB3, what the order is. But we're hoping Caleb can probably take that cornerback one, unless we go for someone else in free agency, which the only guy really left is Richard Sherman. That would probably take a cornerback one spot. Which I would not mind at all, because another veteran on the team. Richard Sherman's trying to win a Super Bowl. We are in win now mode. We have the windows wide open for us to win a Super Bowl. So, and we still have some money left, but we've been kind of throwing change around, signing these guys. Like we signed a couple centers the other day. We picked up Sam Ficken, who I will get into here in a second. But the cornerbacks, going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Who's going to get what role. I would really, cornerback 1, cornerback 2, cornerback 3 is the big question mark. I think it'll come down to Farley, Janoris Jenkins, Christian Fulton. You got Breon Borders, who I think will be a phenomenal cornerback 4.
Elijah Molden as well is another guy that we drafted in the third round who I think is going to be an absolute steal. So it's really, really interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how that lineup will go. Who's going to be the CB1, CB2, CB3, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, that's really pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. But I do have a couple of notes today that we will go over. First and foremost, if you guys didn't know already, Carson Wentz, this was big news yesterday. I will go ahead and mention it again today. Will have surgery. He had surgery on his foot yesterday. The timetable for his return is 5 to 12 weeks. That is a massive timetable. So I think it's a difference in week 1 all the way to week 9. So he can be back anywhere between week 1 and week 9, which that'll be very interesting, because if you start off like 1-3, 2-4, I don't know, 0-2, 0-3, it's going to be very hard to make the playoffs. The Titans did it a couple years ago and actually made it to the AFC Championship game. So it can be done, but you know, not having Carson Wentz to start the year off is going to be a tough task for the Colts to handle, because that's their guy and they have 100% confidence in him, and he's going to be out the first, you know, I don't know how long first, you know, you can't really say how many games or whatever, but he's going to be out the start of the year. So that's tough for them. And then also another very, very, very bad thing happened to the Colts. We heard news that pretty much the best offensive lineman in the NFL, in my opinion, Quentin Nelson, actually had a very similar thing happen to his foot. And the timetable for him is 5 to 12 weeks again. And again, a massive window there, but that's going to, you know, obviously that's going to help out the Titans. But, you know, you just hate to see stuff like that happen. But without Quentin Nelson, that Colts offensive line, obviously they got a couple of, you know, they got really good guys on the offensive line, but that's, you know, a guard, that's Jeffrey Simmons and that's Danico Autry. So having a backup guard on, you know, Danico Autry and Jeffrey Simmons is going to be very, very, you know, good for us, but bad for them. But you want to see everyone 100% healthy. But, you know, things happen, and it's tough to see things happen. But a couple more notes here. Let's go over them. I already mentioned the Danico Autry play against Nate Davis. Absolutely blew him up. And then, let's see here. I forgot to mention, Christian Fulton had a great day yesterday. So if we can keep seeing these secondary guys do well, that'll absolutely help my confidence out in our defense going into next year. Ryan Tannehill has thrown 5 interceptions. I'm not sure what today was, how many interceptions, but prior to today, he had 5 interceptions, which, in my opinion, that doesn't mean that doesn't mean anything. Really, because, in my opinion, he's going to be trying to throw throws that he won't throw in the game. Basically what I'm saying, he's trying to fit balls into very tight windows, I would imagine, and, you know, they're going to get picked. But he's just trying stuff out, I would imagine. Now, he's going to be a lot more smart. He's going to be smarter in the games, obviously. But in my opinion, you know, you got to try stuff out. It's training camp. This doesn't mean anything. So why not, you know, try out some, you know, stuff you might have not tried in the game and see if it would work or not. So in my opinion, it's not a big deal. But, you know, a lot of you guys may be stressing about, oh, no, Tannehill's not playing. Guys, it's going to be all right, because he's probably trying out stuff that he would never do in a game, just to see if he could maybe try and, you know, fit one in there or here, and then, you know, you get what I'm saying. But Ryan Tannehill today, he threw 2 touchdowns and red zone drills. He had a nice scramble toss to Darrington Evans and another nice throw to A.J. Brown. So, again, Tannehill, I think, in my opinion, he's going to be A-okay. And then we'll get to the kicking news now. So we signed Sam Ficken, or picked him up off waivers. We picked him up, and last year we went over his stats. We went over stats from last year prior. If you guys haven't checked that video out, I do recommend you check it out, because it'll honestly boost your confidence in our kicking game, because I'm very confident in Sam Ficken. But today, Sam Ficken went 6 for 6. He hit from 22, 33, 40, 42, 43, and 50. So that's pretty good news. But Mr. McCann came in and went 6 for 6 as well. from 22, 33, 40, 42, 43, and 50. So they went perfect today. That's something you want to see. You got to be very happy for Mike Vrabel seeing both your kickers go a combined 12 for 12 from, and there was, 4 kicks from each guy from 40 or higher, 40 or longer. So that's really good news. As a Titans fan, the past few years has been an absolute kicking carousel for us. We've been signing guys, releasing guys, dropping guys, picking up guys. It's been an absolute disaster ever since Suck Up. I hate how we did Suck Up, but it is what it is. Happy for him that he won a Super Bowl, but I would have loved to keep him on the team. And especially with him and Brett Kern, those guys are best friends off the field. You would have loved to see Suck Up return with us, but fortunately we had to do them like we did them. And then we started signing these. Carlos Santos, who was an absolute disaster. We signed Cody Parkey. We signed a bunch of guys that were just, very interesting guys to sign. Some of those guys lasted a game. Some of those guys lasted 5 games, 6 games, and we were just picking, I just want a guy that can come in here, kick for the next 10 years and not have to worry about that anymore, because kicking, the kicker position is a very important position because they rack up some points. They definitely rack up some points, and they normally lead your team in points. So having a kicker is very important, especially with extra points being where they are now. Very missable extra points now. So you definitely want to see us have confidence in our kicker. So in my opinion, that's great. That's what you want to hear. Both kickers going 6 for 6, and again, that's absolutely great. But yeah, that's really pretty much it from today. We'll get back at it tomorrow. Again, full pass a day, first time full pass a day. So that's always fun. So with that being said, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Until next time, I'll see y'all.